The gated conversion is wonderful. Oh, I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, though, $19,000 worth of stuff needing to be repaired. And then up at the car wizards, my other V12 gated manual Ferrari wheel. So there is where a V12 once was.
I saw that these studs right here, the nuts that go to them, they were actually loose compared to all the other ones.
The nuts for the heads,
yes,
that hold them, to torque them down, they were loose.
Yeah, especially the ones here where you can see the head gasket actually
where it failed.
failed.
So that's basically the water jacket, and it just ate away into eventually getting into the cylinders. Yeah. Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and I am back in Round Rock, Texas to pick up my gated manual swap Ferrari 599 after a few repairs and revisions, but also I get to properly say goodbye to my 2006 Lamborghini Murcielago, which normal guy supercar Dan, who's operating the camera currently, he had to break into my house and take it home because I got stuck in Florida thanks to canceled flights. So I didn't get to say goodbye to that hot boy thing, but also when we road trip this home, we're going to check in with the car wizard who's completely taken apart the Ferrari 456 for the bad head gaskets, something I actually bought back from Dan. So we need to talk about that a little bit too, because he did not hold a gun to my head and tell me to buy the car back, I promise. Yes, the Venezia paint is a little bit dirty, but they've been doing a lot of construction inside, but dialing in the gated conversion, and here's Dan, a very, very happy customer, I guess now. I'm a customer of yours because I bought a car back.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. So now it's 4-in-1. So we're...
I guess so. So yeah, the 94 456, you took it on a road trip down, and it always seemed a little off the entire time to you, right?
It was a little wonky. It kind of had some issues when we were stuck in Dallas traffic. It started getting a little bit hot. It wasn't quite overheating, just a little wonky, and it started stuttering. And then like a couple days later, I was stuck in traffic again, and it did overheat, and I had to shut it down. And at that point, I think the cooling fans died.
Oh, just from working so hard?
Yeah, something went wrong. And then I didn't realize the cooling fans were died, and we took it out one more time because we're dumb. And then that's when it really overheated. And I don't know, but it was like, it seemed like something wasn't right from when it got rebuilt, because when we started taking it apart, a lot of the bolts were not torqued to spec.
And that's why the engine is now completely out of the car wizard. So we're going to start inspecting and looking at it and seeing, because it was rebuilt in Dubai. The car was originally sold in Japan, and yeah. So I love the car, and it was a full-size, comfy grandpa spec kind of thing. So I was very happy to buy it back, and obviously cool to take it apart. So I was very happy. You were not angry and like, no, I demand you take this car back or anything.
I did not tell you it was blown up until we just happened. You were like, hey, buy my Mercy, and I said, okay. And we were talking about that, and then like, oh, by the way, we got the intake manifold off in the 456. You're like, why? And I'm like, well, the head gasket popped. And you're like, well, I want to buy it back. Yes,
I felt like I needed to rescue it. Yeah. And then you just had your Ferrari FF drive off, and now I'm kind of regretting it because I wanted the FF. But
it'll still be here. You should go take it for a spin.
I'm having some issues right now, which is why you have the Murcielago. So, you didn't road trip this one back. You broke into my garage and trailered it home, which wisely. But this is a great driving car, so you could have road tripped it. You would have been a lobster.
Oh, it would have burnt.
Yeah.
And you or look stupid the whole time with the toupee.
You cannot put the toupee on because it is so hideous and dumb and flappy and stuff.
Well, I had to drive it with the toupee on because I was driving it when it was drizzling out, and it's terrible. By the way, it does absolutely zero to abate any noise.
No.
In fact, I think it adds to the noise.
No, it is definitely louder with the toupee on, and if you have to drive slower, it's stupid. No. But yeah, it was definitely an afterthought. Of course, the back end of the Murcielagos, they're so different on the Roadsters than they are with the normal cars. But it's still just an awesome experience,
I love it.
And they're so rare. Compared to what other cars that are much more common are selling for, these are still such bargains in my opinion. But yeah, we were mid-repair actually, so yeah, we have a hole, which is that's not like wood, is it? Is it?
I don't know. I can't. It's hard. It looks like wood.
Is it plywood?
It feels kind of like it's like a some sort of composite or like fiberglass. But
I know, like on the Lotus Esprit, there's a lot of plywood in that car, so that's.
If it's wood, they did a good job rounding the edges so they don't give you splinters.
That's nice, yeah. So I did come bearing gifts because you did have to steal it out of the garage, which a new hole, a new vent, no more holes. But yeah, You know, I had a good 3 years with the thing. I maybe have driven it a handful of times in the last year. So
it's sad. That hurts my heart.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'd always get in the Countach because it's such an experience.
Yeah.
And then this car is such an amazing experience too that it made sense to get rid of the other manual Ferraris. But the
how
456,
different, right?
very different. Yeah.
Just because they're V12s doesn't mean they're any bit alike.
Right. Yep. So you're a satisfied. I guess I'm a satisfied customer. I bought a broken car, which is what I love to do. So, and you're satisfied-ish, or?
Oh, no, it's great.
Okay.
I love the Mercy. I think they're absolutely stupid, which is why I love them. It's one of those cars that's so bad it's good.
Yep.
It
is the room of cars.
Yeah.
Not really. it's a little better than the room. But yeah, before we hit the road in the 599, we're going to drive back to Kansas about 8-9 hours. I'm going to talk to Art and his team at EAG because they did a lot of changes to this car. They also looked it over for me and found some stuff, like 20 grand worth of stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
There's Art, the evil genius here, fixing ECU with a monocle, like Mr. Monopoly.
I had to improvise because I can't really see
Looks
these
gorgeous.
little minute details on this board. How are you?
Oh, just fine.
Picking up your car?
Yep.
Cool. Well, it's got a bunch of new stuff done to it. Motor mounts, trans mounts, made some adjustments. We fixed the gate, so you have a new gate coming. So once that comes, I should let you know.
Yeah, I saw. So it has sort of a plastic gate in there. I don't have the clinky clink for a few weeks.
Well, at least the other one you can hang on your wall.
Oh, there you go.
So the
Yep.
other one comes in. So,
Yeah, and then you did inspect it and you found a few things.
yeah.
So I have the list there. I'll go over with it
Yeah.
later. But everything else seems dialed in. I wanted to test drive a little while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was having trouble getting into reverse. That was the big issue with it, which
that's what we fixed.
the gate just wasn't far enough over for it to get there.
Yeah, because we kind of based it on the 430 360, but the angle of reverse was actually slightly further away in the 599.
But now I'll have the final version gate. Well, you did the cables too, right?
The cables as well.
So I got final version cables. I'm more or less good to go. So
Yeah,
I'll let
safe
you.
travels.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it. Yeah, they've wrapped up a few 599 since I've last been here. And now they're finishing the first few 575 conversions, which I had the 550s, which were all manual. 575s are much cheaper, even though they're a lot cooler looking, more powerful motor, but most of them were a very clunky F1 transmission. So they sorely need that gated conversion. So 2 getting close to done. And then Dan also has one. Had one. Oh, I was sorry.
599?
The donk shot. No, I'm talking about the 575s.
Oh, yeah, I got that one.
Yeah, yours is coming too.
Yeah, it's kind of long.
And there's a fresh 360 conversion coming back in.
Sexy without the bumper. full DDE right there.
Well, happy trails. Here's my gate, by the way. My temporary gate. Yeah, it's it's flexible. Well, hello, 599. It's been a few months. The bark of that Enzo V12 sounds so darn good, but unfortunately, there are some issues with this car. And now, when I had the car wizard look it over, we didn't take all the belly pins off, all the plastic to where you could see everything. But when they were doing the manual conversion, Art and his team, they were able to do all that. They had to do all that to make the transmission change. Well, found some problems. Front and back pages worth. Now, this is their full retail rates if they were doing like a pre-purchase inspection on somebody wanting to look at a car to negotiate. They would have given me a big discount if I were actually doing a lot of this work. And they did do some of the work, like the motor and transmission mounts, which combined, that was about $4,000 retail estimate. And since they were already doing that with the transmission being out and everything, it was like less than half that. But everything else, I didn't have them do. So the valve cover gaskets were leaking. When I bought it, I knew about that. $2,375 to replace that. But also one of the cam variator actuators, so it's like a variable valve lift, obviously, kind of like a VTEC or whatever, Ferrari's fancy version of it. One of those is leaking apparently, and he suggests that I replace all 4 of them. Grand total of $5,599 while you're doing the valve cover gaskets. Ouch! So yeah, then spark plugs while you're there, another $700. Serpentine belt, replacing that, which is a pretty involved serpentine belt on this thing. Apparently, it's looking a little worn. $500. Same with the alternator belt, another $60 on top of that. Basically, power steering line two, a little bit leaking while it's all apart. $1,000 for that. With some parts too. So brake line replacement, because they are the original brake lines, $273. Brake fluid flush, $375. Air filter replacement, two of them, $225 for those. The lower oil tank seal, a little bit of a leak on there, just 1 hour to do, $250. So there's the engine and oil change of service as well. So another $700 there, bringing the grand total to $19,508.38. But keep in mind, about 4 of that on this list has already been done. But yeah, there's a lot to do. But the gate, well, it's nice to have an easy reverse here. So now it just pops right into reverse, nice and easy. But I do wish it was a metal gate. That's coming May 20th, so in about a week or so. Then he'll send it to me, pop that on. And then the manual conversion is done and fantastic. So I'm very, very happy with that. Now the Murcielago, that was a tough one to let go of. But like I said, I hadn't been driving it all that much in the last year or so because of other cars, the new hot things that you know, you get more excited about driving. So I guess it makes sense. But yeah, it's getting harder and harder to whittle down this list of cars to get to the finish line of this money that I need. The gated conversion is wonderful. Oh, I absolutely love it. Unfortunately though, $19,000 worth of stuff needing to be repaired. And then up at the car woods, there's my other V12 gated manual Ferrari. Well, it's all tore apart. The engine is ripped down and they found some really, really bad stuff. So, well, let's head over there. Wizard!
Did you take this thing on like a rally cross? Or?
Yeah, whistling diesel style, just beating up the Ferrari. No, it was sitting in a shop that had some construction going on, and then it was a kind of a dirty trip home from Texas. But yeah, the Pininfarina is dirty.
Oh boy, it's nasty.
But yeah, it's running great. You haven't seen it since the manual conversion.
No, I haven't.
Which they have to get me a new revised gate, so that's just a mock-up for now. I'll get a metal clink and clink one soon.
Okay. That looks like a 3D printed one.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
They have all that in-house. But I did have them do a full look over while all the pans were off underneath and everything, because it is quite a process. They had this estimate, which is rather spicy. But this is their like retail pre-purchase inspection estimate. He said I wouldn't have to pay all of that for
Holy
issue.
moly.
$19,000 worth of things wrong with it.
Oh my goodness.
But, I mean, for example, like the engine mount and the transmission mount, it was about half that what he actually charged me. But if we were full retail, like at his shop, all these issues, which the valve cover gasket thing you told me about when I first bought it.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely need to raise my rates.
well, I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't. I shouldn't have shown you this. Oh, no. But, I mean, surely, like replacing all 4 cam variator solenoids when just one's leaking a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely would just replace the one that's leaking. I've actually had people complain over the phone about my exotic car price is $175 an hour.
Yeah.
This is $250.
Yeah.
Almost double.
Well, things are more expensive in Texas.
Yeah, they are, but
Yeah.
$175 is nothing to sneeze at.
I suppose, yes.
Yeah, it's really pretty good deal if you look at it.
But if I had you doing a lot of these, they did tighten up the valve covers to see every bolt they could reach without taking off the intake to see if it helps a little bit.
Yeah.
But I imagine if I was doing it, it wouldn't be $8,000 with you.
Yeah,
with all the cam variators.
I'm pretty sure we could do this whole list for probably a little over half of that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to have you tear this thing apart just yet. Enjoy it for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But you have completely ripped apart the Ferrari now, or at least Daniel's son has.
Yes.
Where is Daniel's son? Holy crap. Oh, are you working on the Phaeton over there?
Yeah, I am.
Is it a W12 Phaeton?
It is.
Holy crap. That's going to be a Wizard video, isn't it?
Yeah, I already made one.
Something to look forward to on the Wizard channel.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so the Bentley W12 and a Volkswagen. What a goofy thing. Nobody bought them.
Yeah, there's not very many of them around.
This is my first one.
But it sounds like you're enjoying the Ferrari a little more than this. So, yeah, so it's all very neatly organized here. Just gorgeous. So there is where a V12 once was.
Yes.
It overheated, supposedly a bad head gasket. Dan, which I talked to him, they found water in the cylinders. Did you verify that?
I did verify.
So what did you see? Taking it apart.
Well, I saw that these studs right here, the nuts that go to them, they were actually loose compared to all the other ones.
The nuts for the heads
Yes.
that hold them to torque them down, they were loose.
Yeah, especially the ones here where you can see the head gasket actually
Or it failed.
failed.
So that's basically the water jacket, and it just ate away into eventually getting into the cylinders.
Yeah, and it looks the same on both sides.
Okay. So then it was just this one side, the other side was okay?
The other side is good. All the nuts on this side were tight, and as you can see, there's no damage.
All right. Well, we're taking out the engine wizard suggestion here because if they mess that up, then we need to check over everything. So was there anything else that you noticed that was... Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, look at this little guy right here. This is where the timing belt goes.
And it's... Oh, it's got some
Compared to the other side.
lateral... Yeah, that's solid. And that is absolutely not. So that was a disaster waiting to happen, too.
Yeah, and you can see the nut. They just basically use a hammer and a chisel to get them out, or to tighten them up. So I don't think they were torqued.
All right. So, and these are my spark plugs, and some of them look a little more water damaged than others, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you guess which one, which side was which.
Which side was it? The V12 was which? Yeah. So, water was getting in. It still ran really good though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It would stumble a little bit on startup when it was clearing its throat. I didn't think head gasket.
Yeah.
So,
Take a look in here too.
what's up?
On your exhaust ports.
Water. This is looking like Freddy's P1 almost, you know.
It is ocean water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
There was exhaust. Coolant just coming out of your exhaust too. So your cats were full. At least that side was full of coolant as well.
I wonder because my cats failed, you know, we had just replaced those.
It could have been the water getting to them.
So this had been going on for a few months and I just didn't realize it. And that road trip to Austin, Texas just did it in.
Yep.
Thankfully, it didn't damage the motor irreparably, I imagine, right? Seem okay?
I hope so.
I think it'll be fine.
That's a vote of confidence, jeez.
One thing that'll also be fine is I think we're going to go ahead and jump up to 250 an hour on this job.
No, hey, after. At least after this. Okay. I still have some in-store credit, I suppose, but
Yes.
it's being whittled away because, well, thank you, Daniel, son. Yeah, because you told me the Cadillac's done.
Yes, it is ready to go.
So I have a working fuel gauge there.
Yep.
And then my Cadillac Escalade outside is done. That was just a little bit of maintenance work and things.
Yeah, I just needed a charcoal canister.
And then like the steering rattle thing, did that get...
That one I haven't got to yet.
Okay.
So, no, it's not done.
Okay, so we still need to do that.
That one, I forgot about that, yes.
The Mustang, the hood is closed. Is
It's
that a good
running
sign?
again.
It is?
Yes.
So you found some non-Chinesium rocker arms?
Yes, they actually have roller tips on them.
Roller tips.
Yeah, the tip rolls.
Okay, so I can actually start it up without...
Yes.
Okay. Full race car, so we have start sequence, boom, ignition, fuel, button here for the starter. It's a race car, so it takes a little bit for it to warm up. But no more horrible death rattle and dead cylinders.
Yay!
You did it!
It's alive again.
That is quite a relief. Okay. So I need to get this out of your hair.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. And not hit myself on the door.
Yeah, don't do that. You might fall and hit yourself on the ground again.
Okay. Well, I'm curious. The Maybach too.
Yes,
It's
the
down?
Maybach is done.
So my credit's been whittled down quite a bit then, huh?
You started with almost 22,000. You're down to 4.
4.
And I think that will be gone with that. Or more.
So it's done.
It's done.
The heads need to go off to be machined, right?
Yes, take them to Martin Machine, I recommend.
Well, why not another V12 Ferrari? helping another V12 Ferrari. We can just haul it in the trunk, right?
Yeah, you can. It's already dirty. Why
Yeah,
not?
it's a, parts runner. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, show off.
You're struggling over there, Hoovy.
I can do one. Yeah. See? Yeah. Ow. Nope, I'm not gonna do the third one. Okay. Fits like a glove. The very first Ferrari 599 parts runner here.
It's a V24 now.
Yeah, there it is, or at least half of it. All right, well, thanks, Wizard. Well, obviously, the 456 is in very good hands with the car wizard and Daniel's son, and you can actually watch a very detailed video on him taking it apart on Daniel's new YouTube channel. I'll put the link below so you can watch it. It is a really cool process to see him taking it all apart, and he did a great job with one of his early YouTube efforts. So if you want to watch a new YouTube channel, Daniel's son is the one to go to. So thanks so much to him, and thank you all so much for watching. The Ferrari is home, tucked into the hangar, as am I. Hopefully that one goes back together soon, and then we can get the 599 up for maintenance. But as is, it's driving just fine. Thanks so much for watching.